I think it's the perfect city for this installation because of not only the tech aspect, but just we love art in this city. We have the Burning Man connection. We love art, so I can't imagine it being in New York, for instance, because I don't know, it just doesn't seem to fit as well.
This is a very site-specific work of public art, and Leo Villareal has done an amazing job, and it absolutely resonates with the city of San Francisco and really the entire Bay Area and the world. It's a leading work of public art, and you get up next to it and you understand why.
What I find interesting about his work is that he's using a medium that is often associated with, billboards and Vegas, and he's taking it and he's kind of turning it and making it abstract and making it so that it doesn't have a clear message, and it makes you reflect more. It makes you see whatever your mind wants you to see as opposed to what some advertiser wants you to see.
His beautiful work, his integrity as an artist, his vision, his ability to manifest the broader concepts is with us every single night in this work. This is a great signature work of Leo Villareal, and he was a fantastic and is a fantastic person and artist to work with. His commitment to this project, I think, comes through in your film. But I know, for me, when I look at his work, what I like about it is, it's non-figurative, it's non-text-based. It activates, for me, right brain or left brain thinking initially. I want to solve the patterns. Eventually, you sort of give into it, and it creates a form of whole brain thinking, where suddenly you're drifting into the work and finding yourself within yourself, and then there's this desire to reach out to others and share the experience. He's described it, and others have described the Bay Lights as a digital campfire. It creates a sense of community by its very being, and that community wants you to connect with others, and that is the true magic of being a human being. On this project, there were so many beautifully challenging moments. I mean, right down to the very first one, the first step on this project, which was when the idea came to me, and I sat with it for a while. Making that decision to just walk it out into the world rather than walk away from it, it gets right down to the essence of all the big decisions we make. It's fear or love, and the fearful choice was to say that's a crazy idea. The loving choice is to say it's a beautiful idea. Don't be afraid of being judged crazy for having it and walking into the world. There was a quote I have on my kitchen wall that says, "At the moment of commitment, the entire world conspires to ensure your success." And I had that on my wall for 3 or 4 years, considering on a daily basis. And I looked at it really closely when the idea for this project came to me, and I knew that the tough word in that expression was commitment. And this project did really force one to reckon with what commitment means, and it really means a willingness to let go of everything else in the exclusive pursuit of what you want to see happen. First of all, let me say that if there were an award for most independent filmmaker, Jeremy Ambers would win that award. We were at South by Southwest, and you get to see a lot of movies, and you'd see the shorts, and a 4 or 5 minute film literally has, 4 or 5 times the people working on it than worked on the entire process. And Jeremy was a one-man act for a lot of that. And he's given a great gift to the art world. He's given a great gift to this project and those who worked on it, in terms of not just telling a story, but really finding the essence of that story, taking those 2.5 years and bringing it down to an exhilarating 70 minutes that I think really reflects the emotional drama that I felt going through that process and that we all did. So I think he did an amazing job on an individual basis. And I will say, there's never a documentary in the making of the documentary. We all took risks, and those are being celebrated in Jeremy's film, but we're not really celebrating the amazing and probably even more stressful risks that Jeremy took on in the making of this film. It was an act of crazy passion, during a time when you had a child. Mm-hmm. You moved locations, you did a lot of different things during the making of this film, and you stayed with it all the way through. It was great. I also think, truthfully, the making of the documentary may have helped the process to succeed. You'd go into those meetings and people sort of knew at some level that while Jeremy could find a way to blur into the background for the most part, the cameras were rolling. And I think we were willing to use whatever we could to get this project going in a way that maintained the integrity of the artwork and the integrity of everyone involved.
So maybe it's harder to say no to something that you know should be if there's a camera in your face, something like that.
It could be. I think
Yeah.
everyone fell in love with the project anyway. But this is a project. This is Jeremy's film. One of the things I like about it is there are no human antagonists. It's just a series of human protagonists working together to overcome the antagonistic nature of the environment, of bureaucracies, and of the vagaries of money.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very challenging process of making a film because I had little to no help with a crew or any sort of people to bounce ideas off of. It was kind of just shoot and tell a story. So I did have a couple of people help me put the story together as the film was being developed, but I think the most challenging aspect of it to me was probably finding that story, finding the best way to tell the story. There was nobody who opposed this project, like really hard enough to be depicted in the film. So there was never, a crotchety old man with a shovel saying, no, not in my backyard, that kind of thing. So that was challenging from a filmmaking perspective, because you want somebody to play that role. You want to have that drama, but it's just, there was nobody there. So I had to find the other aspects of the project that were so challenging and stressful to make it, interesting.
I mean, a cast of thousands came together to make this project a reality, and all those people had very high hopes for what it could mean, and the reality has vastly exceeded even our highest hopes. The Bay Lights is a phenomenon, and it's both on a global level, but on a very personal level. I get the greatest joy coming out here and experiencing it myself. I still feel a sense of connection, but I like to turn the other direction and watch people looking at the lights, see people with their collective gaze lifted upward in a moment of inspiration, knowing that there are thousands of faces doing that at any given moment. It makes you feel like anything is possible when there are that many people in a moment of shared inspiration. It's also a radically accessible work of art, not just that you can see it for free from any place up and down San Francisco waterfront and beyond. It's radically accessible in the nature of how people relate to it. You don't need an art degree. You don't need a specific language, a specific type of knowledge. All you really need to do is be alive, be human, and be prone to the human sensations of being responsive to the sublime nature of light in the night sky, the sublime nature of scale, and the sublime nature of these algorithms, these non-repeating algorithms, which move us into a space of connectedness.
The biggest tip that I have for somebody who wants to start and make a film, a feature-length documentary, is to not give up and to, really just find something that you're passionate about. Because if you're not passionate about it, at the end of the day, you have to go home and live with it. And I lived with it for 3 years, so I couldn't imagine doing that if it was something that I didn't care about. That and find funding.
Right.
This is a work of love, of generosity and community, and at the end of the day, that's when the most beautiful things have a chance to happen. It's also an exercise in just showing up. Jeremy just kept showing up, and that's part of the secret of getting things done. Just the perseverance that he showed alone was a source of inspiration for all of us along the way as well.